All right, welcome back, everyone, and bear down again. Yet again, we're coming back with our Bears breakdown series. Guys, this is a fun series for me to make. It's not quite as popular as the mock drafts and the other stuff, but this has some jam-packed information with where the team stands and some analytics of how I look at things. This doesn't necessarily mean this is how Hallis Hall or Ryan Poles or the team look at them, but this is how I look at them. And so I'm going to keep taking you through these, and I enjoy them, so hopefully you're getting some value out of them. But this is the edge position, and this is one of the more important ones, I think, for us to break down and make decisions on this year. And I think there need to be some big decisions made in this department. So let's start off first with the team, where we stand right here. And you can see the weakness on an otherwise pretty stout defense was the front up here of the line. Now, these are more than 11 players on the field there. You see that. And that's because I have both players that would be out on the base defense and on the nickel defense. So I've got both schemes out there. But you can see what we're going to focus on today would be Montez Sweat, Yannick Ngakoue, and DeMarcus Walker as starters. Now, should they all be starters? Not necessarily, but we're going to go through part of that. And obviously, Yannick's contract is up. Let's look at the contracts first. So here's our contracts. Yannick and Rasheem Green are both free agents. Good riddance by both of you. We don't want either of you here. Now, some of you might remember me if you were on Swift Sports Network's little threads. I was always on there like crazy saying, we don't want Yannick. We don't want Yannick. This was a big thing last year. Defensive end was a big position of need for us. And there were a lot of discussions and who are we going to take. And you remember Ryan Poles, in different press conferences saying, hey, when I'm out in public, when I'm in Hawaii, everyone's reminding me we need a defensive end. I would tell everyone we do not want Yannick Ngakoue. And I'll show you why here in a minute. But I said that, and he was not worth anything. He wasn't worth a penny of those $10 million he got this last year. All right, anyways, here we go. What we got was a dream in Montez Sweat. Every penny of that $25 million is worth it. We've got him locked up through 2027. Good. He's with us. DeMarcus Walker. Now, there might be mixed feelings on that. I'm going to show you some things that you might enjoy by the end of the video. Dominique Robinson, he's on borrowed time, in my opinion. Khalid Kareem and Daniel Hardy really are just guys, in my opinion, that are here to fill spots on the 90-man, try to see if they can fit that fifth spot in the defensive end room, see if they can make it onto the roster. In my opinion, they're not really. We really need a couple more guys. We really need two more defensive ends, in my opinion, of where we're headed. Let's look at the guys from last year. So look at the ranks on the far right. Montez Sweat, 34th out of 118 defensive ends. DeMarcus Walker, 88th. Doesn't look stellar, but let me show you something in a minute. Yannick Ngakoue, 117th out of 118 defensive ends. Rasheem Green, 110 out of 118. Here is a little category that I created yet again. It's the sacks, hits, hurries, but this is in reverse faction. I'm not as big on the sack numbers as a lot of people are. I'm more impressed with how much they affect the play, so how often they get a sack, hit, or hurry on a play, and this is per how many plays. So it takes Montez Sweat 8 plays to get a sack, hit, or hurry, and that's pretty up there, guys. You're going to see as I compare to the top in the league. DeMarcus Walker, 10.13, not bad. Yannick Ngakoue, 12, which isn't horrible, but his missed tackle percentage and his run defense, look 5 categories over, 37.7 on his run defense. That's terrible. And his missed tackle at 29.2. Bye, Yannick. See you later. Rasheem Green, 18.2. He's gone to Dominique Robinson. This is why he's on borrowed time. Missed tackling of 16.7, which really isn't terrible. It really isn't. 6.8 by Montez Sweat is stellar. That is up there. That's top in the league. Sack hits hurry, though. 1 out of every 31 plays, he disrupts the play. 1 out of 31. It takes him 31 plays to get a sack, hit, or hurry. Dominique Robinson he's not making it in the NFL. Sorry, guys. So take a minute, look at that. You can pause it if you want. I'm going to show you how they stack up against top contenders in the league. This is Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, and Max Crosby. These are the 3 top guys in the league. You can see Myles Garrett gets a sack, hit, or hurry 1 out of every almost 6 plays. Same as Nick Bosa and Max Crosby, 1 out of every 7. So Montez Sweat isn't far behind him, but look at the missed tackle percentage. Montez Sweat is really stellar in that department. I love it. FF is forced fumbles, if anybody's looking at these and trying to figure out what they mean. Sack fumbles is really a huge part of defensive ends that I appreciate, the takeaways that they disrupt, that they make. And then run defense is the next one, pass defense, and PFF grade is on the far right, and then their PFF rank. So this is how they stack up. And what we see is the Montez Sweat effect, the Tez effect. And I'm going to show you how that affected DeMarcus Walker, because I like DeMarcus Walker, but it wasn't panning out at the beginning of the season. He's a great ancillary player. So look at the bottom here. This is DeMarcus Walker pre-Montez Sweat coming in, because we needed a disruptor, and that's what Montez Sweat is. So if you ever needed the Tez effect, if you needed proof of it, look at DeMarcus Walker. Pre-Montez Sweat, he had 11.05 sacks, hits, or hurries. So it took him 11 plays to get one of those. And his missed tackle percentage was 33.3%. That's through 8 games. And then the final 9 games, New Orleans and on, DeMarcus Walker, after Montez Sweat got here, look at the difference. 1 out of every 9.38 plays. So not a huge, but it is. It really is. When you look at it, it got him in there on two more plays effectively out of those. And his missed tackle percentage went way down. Montez Sweat put the pressure, and it closed the gap, it closed the pocket, and it made it so they could all swarm in there. Montez Sweat is a beast. We're so lucky to have him. All right, so let's look at the draft. What's coming up? Because I like DeMarcus Walker. I like Montez Sweat. We need a couple more guys. I don't see Dominique Robinson panning out. So let's look at what we got. We've got the number 9 overall pick. All right, so I'm going to look at free agency first. Free agency, we don't need a free agent. No matter what the rumors you hear are, no, we're not picking up a free agent. We've already paid. Let me go back here and show you. We've already paid Montez Sweat $25 million. We're already paying DeMarcus Walker $8.6 million. We're not paying more in this department. That's how you get yourself into contract hell. You don't overpay at every department, and then all of a sudden you can't afford anything else, like a future quarterback that you need. You build through the draft. This is the epitome of why we need brick by brick. So if anything, the fifth guy, instead of bringing on a free agent, we've already got him. He's one of the 2 guys I was talking about, Khalid Kareem. So look at the start of his career. It's pretty solid. He just hasn't had the snaps, and when he's in there, he doesn't look to be a disruptor. Can he still develop? I don't know. They'll work with him. I see him as a solid 5 defensive end. So if you need to fill out the room, we don't need to pick up a free agent. We need a couple in the draft here. So let's look at our draft. Here's the top guys in the draft. And here's the thing, guys. The numbers don't tell you everything. But for some reason, Chop Robinson fell down the boards. But look at his missed tackle percentage. He's one of the most elite in all of college football. And he gets a sack, hit, or hurry every 5.69 plays. He's projected right now to go between 39 and 50. Could we snag him at a steal? Maybe, if he's there. And we pick up some extra draft picks. I can see us doing that. As well as, I don't see us passing on one of these top 3 guys. Now, you look at their missed tackle percentage. I'm going to show you here in a second. Let's go to it now. So here's some of the top guys in the last couple years. Will Anderson Jr.'s missed tackle percentage in college. These are their college numbers. This is not their NFL numbers. This is their last year of college. You can see Trayvon Walker, who in Jacksonville didn't really work out at first, and that sack, hit, hurry that I've created might be a little more telling than people realize. Will Anderson Jr., Aiden Hutchinson. All right. But you compare up there, Chop Robinson, I don't have, you just watch him on tape, and he's not quite as dynamic. So that's the thing with this. We're going to put our trust in Ryan Poles. But there's 2 spots I really think we could capitalize, and that's Darius Robinson, who's climbing boards, and if we can steal him with the Ian Cunningham pick that we're going to get for Ian Cunningham getting, maybe Ian Cunningham won't get hired, and we won't get that pick. That's not the worst thing in the world, because Ian Cunningham is valuable to this team. We'll just see how that pans out. But if we do get that pick, still in Darius Robinson there at number 99 would be pretty phenomenal in my opinion. But there's no way we can pass up at number 9. A lot of people talk about trading down from 9. With what we need at defensive end and that we need to build through the draft, you don't trade out of that position. All 3 of those guys, Dallas Turner, Jared Verse, and Laiatu Latu, are quality guys that I think will have an impact in the NFL. Their sack, hit, hurries are all solid here. They do cause disruption, force fumbles. They've got solid pass rush grades. Their missed tackle percentages are up there, but that doesn't tell the whole story. Sometimes in college, with the spread out markers and people going for the big plays, sometimes they go for the big plays. It's something that can be fine-tuned in the NFL. But there's also other quality guys. Chris Braswell, I'm just not going to say that I know exactly what Ryan Poles will do on this one, but I'm pretty confident, number 9, we're going to take a defensive end. That's my opinion. I really think we don't pass up on that opportunity because they're going to do their scouting. They're going to do all their reporting. They're going to figure out who they want, and we're taking a defensive end at number 9. So with that, I do this at the end of every video. What's my preference? Number 9, 100% we're taking a defensive end there. And pick up Darius Robinson with the gift of Ian Cunningham if we can. And this, to me, would be a solid defensive end room for the Bears. And so that's why I made this last picture the way I did. Montez Sweat, Marcus Walker, Latu, and Darius Robinson. To me, that's pretty freaking phenomenal. I would love to see what they could do this next year and see if the Montez Sweat factor could factor into this entire line, and we could be one of the most disruptive lines in the entire league. So let me know your thoughts. This one is one of the most intriguing things for me to follow this offseason. I really want to see what happens. I don't see any action happening in March. I do see myself fine-tuned in on the draft, seeing what we're going to do, because I'm very excited to see who he ends up picking. It could be Jared Verse. It could be Dallas Turner. And either one of those, Latu, any one of those 3, I'm going to be excited at 9 because I like all 3 of them. If you watch them on tape, that's the tape factor. Sometimes you don't see everything through the stats, but all 3 of those guys are disruptors when you watch them on tape. All 3 of them are fun to watch. So I would be excited for any one of them to line up across from Montez Sweat, rotate in with DeMarcus Walker, and have a solid front there. So, all right, until next time, bear down.